Hi everyone, welcome back to Saheb Academy. Today in this fifth video of batch costing chapter, we're going to solve this fourth problem of our series, and the question is from the ICAI study material illustration 4. And the main thing about this question is here we have a bit calculation regarding absorption of overheads. Okay, and the method which they have said over here in the question itself, that this company is following labor hour rate method. So we have to understand that logically what it means, right? And how to do it. Okay, we'll do that. And then here we have multiple batches. We have to calculate the cost profit of each batches and also of per unit. Okay, profit per unit and cost per unit. Okay, that also we'll do. It's really simple, don't worry. And then they will be asking you here the overall position of the company as well, not the company, of the particular order, okay, of all the batches combined, right? So we'll see all this, don't worry. Let's just read the question once and see what do we have here. Okay, let's begin. Now see here, a jobbing factory has undertaken to supply 200 pieces of a component per month for the ensuing 6 months. So here they are talking about a factory which takes small contracts, okay, and here they have taken a small job, a contract to supply 200 pieces of a particular component per month, okay, for the ensuing 6 months they are saying, okay, not for the entire year, just for the 6 months. So 200 into 6, that's 1200 pieces in total, isn't it? Yes. Every month a batch order is opened. Okay, fine, they are opening a batch order against which materials and labor hours are booked at actual. So they are recording all the materials and the labor hours, whatever they are going on incurring. Is that clear? They are recording it. Fine. Overheads are levied at a rate equal to per labor hour. You see, here they are telling you that in this order, in this factory here, they are following this method of absorption of overheads. Which method? Labor hour rate method. So that's what we will be doing over here. Is it clear? Simple. The selling price contracted for is 8 rupees per piece. Okay, fine, that's the selling value. We'll easily calculate 8 rupees into the output, right? From the following data, calculate the cost and profit. Okay, both the things we have to calculate, which means we have to prepare what? Cost sheet, isn't it? Yes, cost and profit per piece of each batch. Now understand, they're asking per piece also and of each batch also, right? So we have to calculate the cost and profit of each batch and as well as per piece of each batches. Is that clear? Yeah. And overall position of the order for 1200 pieces, isn't it? It's 1200 pieces now. 200 into 6, that's 1200. So they're also asking what will be the position of the order for the entire 1200 pieces. Okay, so we'll prepare the cost sheet of each batches, okay, by making multiple columns. We'll calculate, and then below that we'll calculate the cost and profit per unit, okay, per piece easily. And then at last, by taking the average, we'll calculate the cost and the profit of 1200 pieces. Okay, we'll see that, don't worry. I'm just giving you an overview over here, right? Okay, now see here we have the details, right? So see the months: January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, all these are the batches: January batch, February batch, March batch, April batch, May's batch, June's batch. Okay, and then they have given us the actual output over here. Okay, 210, 200, 220, 180, 200, 220. Okay, so it's simple. And then they have also given us the material cost separately: 650 rupees, 640 rupees, 680 rupees, yeah, and so on. Same with the direct wages also. So we don't have any problem over here. It's really simple. Directly we can take this in the cost sheet. Yeah, separate columns. We can easily take this. And then here they have given us direct labor hours. So what are these? These are the hours. Yeah, for example, here 240 hours. What does it mean? It means 240 hours have been worked in the month of January on this batch. Okay, and then wait a minute. So these are the hours that have been worked on each of these batches, and then below this you can see the other details are, see here, January, February, March, April, May, June, and they have given us the overheads. Now these overheads are of course of the period, okay, of the entire factory in a particular period, and that period is overheads for the month of January is 12,000, for February it's 10,560, and so on, right? And then here they have given us direct labor hours. So now please don't get confused. These are the labor hours of the entire factory. You see, this is a jobbing factory. In this jobbing factory, there are many orders going on. Okay, here we are talking about just this 1200 pieces order. Is that clear? So in this entire factory, there are many orders are going on, many jobs are going on. So in total 4,800 hours have been worked in the month of January, right? So now why have they given us this data to us? They have given us this data because to calculate the absorption rate per labor hour. Okay, with that only we will be able to absorb the overhead in these batches. Okay, so we'll see that. Don't worry, it's really simple. How do we calculate the overhead absorption rate per labor hour? It's really simple. We'll take the overheads of a particular period, divide by the level of activity of that particular period, right? Here it's labor hours, so divide by labor hours of January. And remember, whenever we calculate absorption rate, we always take the entire data. We take the company's data, and this is the company's data, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. And then once we get the absorption rate, we just multiply that with the hours in that batch, hours that have been worked in that batch, and we'll easily get how much of the overheads cost needs to be added in that batch. Yeah, how much of that cost will be absorbed in the month of January. Is it clear? Don't worry, we'll see that. Don't worry, right? So that's the question over here, right? So now let's begin. Let's see how we are going to solve this. Okay, let's begin. Now see, here we have the solution. Let's understand what we need to do over here. It's really simple. We just have to prepare a simple cost sheet to fulfill the requirement, and the requirement is to just calculate the cost and profit per piece of each batch and also of the entire batch. Okay, so many batches are there. How many batches are there? 6 batches are there. You already know that. Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. Each of them are batches. And then overall position of 1200 pieces also. Okay, this is the requirement. So we just need to prepare a simple cost sheet, right, of each batches separately. That's why we need 6 different columns for each batches, and then a total column to make a summation of everything. Okay, and to see the entire point of view. Is it clear? Yes. So now let's calculate. It's really simple. Let's do this. First, we have to take the actual output that has been produced, which is given in the question. Really simple. 210, 200, 220, 180, 200, 220, isn't it? So just copy down that. Okay. Is it clear? And if you take a sum of this, that's equal to 1230. So we have produced more. That's fine. Okay, it happens. And then we have to take the sales value. Now sales value, how will you calculate? It's really simple. We have the output and we know the selling price is rupees 8. Just multiply 210 into 8, that's equal to 1680. Yeah, let me just show you. 210 into 8, that's equal to 1680. The same thing you have to do with all the batches. Okay, 8 rupees into 200, that's 1600. 8 rupees into 220, that's equal to 1760. And then 8 rupees into 180, that's equal to 1440. Yeah, and so on. Easily you can calculate. And if you take a sum of this, that's equal to 9840. Or you can calculate 1230 into 8, that's 9840. Yeah, 1230 into 8, that's equal to 9840. Is it clear? Simple. After this, okay, this is the sales value, because we need the sales value now. When we'll subtract the sales and the total cost, we'll get the profit, isn't it? So that's why we have taken the sales value. And then we need to calculate the cost of each batches, the total cost. So how will we calculate the total cost? It's really simple. We have the material cost separately of each batches, direct wages separately of each batches, isn't it? The only problem is the overheads. Yeah, we have to do bit calculation regarding the overheads, but material cost and direct wages easily we can take now. So let's take that. Okay, see here, material cost 650, 640, 680, 630, 700, 720. Yeah, it's given. Okay, I have taken it from over here. And then direct wages also, it's directly given. No calculation, nothing. 120, 140, 150, 140, 150, 160. Yeah, from here. Simple. If we take a sum, that's 4020 rupees, and of direct wages, it's 860 rupees. Is it clear? Simple. After this, we have the overheads. So now how did they get this 600, 672, 672, 621, 780, 800? How did they get that? It's really simple. It's really simple. Understand properly. Let's see the calculation now. Forget about that. See here. Absorption of overheads, or you can say allocation of overheads cost to each batch. So how will this work? It's really simple. First, you need to calculate the absorption rate per labor hour. Okay, how do you calculate that? It's really simple. You take the overheads for a period of the entire factory, divide that by the labor hours of that same particular period. For example, let's talk about the January's month. See here, in the month of January, the total overheads of the factory were how much? 12,000. Okay, 12,000. And then if you have to divide this by the total direct labor hours of this particular period only. Okay, 12,000 divided by 4,800, that's equal to 2.5 rupees, right? 2.5 rupees. That's the absorption rate per labor hour in the month of January. And this is of the entire factory. Okay, now this rate we have to apply, on the January's batch. Okay, 2.5 into 240. Understand? 2.5 into 240. So that's equal to 600 rupees. Now this 600 rupees has to be added to the cost of January, to the production cost of January. Is that clear? So out of this 12,000, 600 has been absorbed. It has been allocated to the January's batch of this particular job. Okay, January's batch of this particular job of 1200 pieces. Is it clear? So see, if you see in this column over here, you see here overheads 600. So what has happened? 600 we calculated just now. That cost has been absorbed by the January's batch. Is it clear? It's added, that cost is added to this batch. So understand this logically. It's really simple. What does this 2.5 rupees means? What does this 2.5 rupees means? It means that if a labor is working 1 hour for a particular job, then you have to add 2.5 rupees to the cost of that job. Do you understand? If a worker is working, let's just say 5 hours on a particular job, then what you have to do? You have to add 2.5 into 5, that's equal to 12.5 rupees cost to that job. Yeah, overhead is being absorbed to that job. It is added to that job. That's the logic over here. Yeah, if he's working 2 hours, then 5 rupees, 2.5, 2.5, like that. So here in the January's batch, how many hours have been worked on this January's batch? On this January's batch, 240 hours have been worked. So 240 into 2.5. Is it clear? That's the logic. Okay, that's how we absorb the overheads on the basis of this labor hour rate method. Is that clear? Really simple and straightforward. Okay, because overheads are what? They are indirect cost. Yeah, you cannot trace that to any particular product or any cost unit. So what do? We use some basis to apportion them. You have to absorb them. Is it clear? So this is how you have to calculate separately of each month. Okay, and this is of the entire factory. This 2.5 hour. Okay, if there is any other batch on which you have to absorb the overheads, the same rate you will use, 2.5 into whatever hours they have worked on that batch. Okay, is it clear? Like that. So let's calculate of February. It's really simple. Overheads divided by labor hours. Yeah, just see the question. February 10,560, and then labor hours of that particular period only 4,400. So if you divide these two, you get what? 2.4 hours, right? So 2.4, see here, 2.4 into what? Go to the February's batch, it's 280. So into 280, that's equal to 672. Okay, so if you see here, overheads 672. Is it clear? February. Yeah, this is how you have to do it. And then let's just see of March. 12,000 divided by 5,000. 12,000 divided by 5,000, that's equal to 2.4. These are the overheads of the month of March, and the labor hours of the entire factory of the month of March, that's 5,000 labor hours. So that's equal to 2.4. This is the absorption rate per labor hour. Okay, per labor hour. So that's why now 2.4 into how many hours have been worked in the month of March on that batch? It's 280. Okay, into 280. So that's equal to 672 again. Okay, here also 672. Clear? Easy. Let's do of April also, and then you understood now. I will leave it. Okay, and then April, see here, 10,580, 10,580, sorry, 10,580 divided by 4,600, that's equal to 2.3. Now this 2.3 into what? Into the April's hours of that batch. See here, of that job, yeah, 270. So 270, 2.3 into 270, that's equal to 621. Is it clear? 621 rupees. Yeah. Let's see of May also. In the month of May, what's happening? In the month of May, 13,000 overheads are there, and the direct labor hours are 5,000. So 13,000 divided by 5,000, that's equal to 2.6. Yeah, 2.6 per labor hour. So into May, 300 hours. Yeah, that's equal to 780. Clear? So see, in the cost sheet here, it's how much? 780. Is it clear? Really simple and straightforward. And then in the June, it's 800. Okay, 12,000 divided by 4,800, and then 2.5 into 320, that's equal to 800. Is it clear? And then in total, that's equal to 4,145. Yeah, if you add up all of this together, you will get 4,145. Is it clear? Simple. So once you add all these costs, material cost, direct wages, overheads, you will get what? You will get total cost. Okay, let me just show you one. 650 plus 120 plus 600, that's equal to 1370. 1370. So this you have to do with all the columns, all the batches. Okay, and then take a sum of all this total cost, you will get 9,025 rupees in the total column. Okay, in the last total column. And then after this you'll just subtract. Okay, let's just call this as A, okay, and this as B, right? So how will you calculate the profit per batch? You know, it's really simple, A minus B, isn't it? You will get this. Yeah, sales value minus total cost, you will get this. 1680 minus 1370, it's equal to 310. Yeah, 310 is the profit of the batch of January. And then see here, 1600 minus 1452, that's equal to 148, right? This is the profit of February's batch. And then 1760 minus 1502, that's equal to 258. Yeah, that's March. And then let's see April, 1440 minus 1391, that's equal to 49 rupees. And then in the month of May, see what's happening, 1600 minus 1630, that's equal to minus 30. So here we have a loss. So if we have a loss, then you have to take that in negative. Okay, because here you have written profit now. So here if you're getting loss, then it has to be negative. Okay, and then in the month of June, what's happening, 1760 minus 1680, that's equal to 80 rupees profit. Okay, now what you have to do, you just have to take a sum of this, you will get 815. Let's see that, 310 plus 148 plus 258 plus 49, and then minus 30, and then plus 80, that's equal to 850. Is it clear? Or you can just subtract 9,840 minus 9,025, you will get this 815. Is it clear? Simple. And then after this, you know, till here what we have done, understand properly. Till here, half of, first requirement is finished. What was the first requirement? The first requirement was calculating the cost and profit of each batch. Okay, each batch. So that's over. Yeah, you have calculated the profit of each batches and total cost of each batches. Now you need to calculate the cost per unit of each batch and profit per unit of each batch. Okay, that's the requirement, because see here they have asked you cost and profit per piece, which means per unit, right? So how will you calculate? It's really simple. See here, you have the batch output. Now you will just simply divide the cost by the output, profit by the output. You will get the per unit figures. You all know that. It's really simple. See, total cost per unit, how did they get this 6.52? It's really simple. Just take the total cost of January, that's 1370, divide by 210, yeah, you know, the actual output, so you will get 6.52. okay, just take the two decimals, 6.52. Is it clear? Simple. Let's see February. The cost is how much? 1452 divide by 200, that's equal to, see, 7.26. Is it clear? This is the same thing you have to repeat with all these batches, and you will get the per unit costs, okay, of each batches. Is it clear? Simple. Okay, and then see here in the total column what they have done, 9025 divide by the total output, that's 1230, that's equal to 7.33. yeah, that has been rounded off to 7.34. Is it clear? Simple. So this is how you will calculate the cost per unit. It's really simple, it's not difficult. And then the same way profit per unit also. See, profit we have over here of each batches. So what you have to do, you just have to take the profit 310 over here, right, in the month of January, 310 divide by 210, that's equal to 1.47. yeah, rounded off to 1.48. And then for February, profit is 148, yeah, 148 divide by 200, that's equal to 0.74. Is it clear? Simple and straightforward. Same thing you have to repeat. Here we have a loss, so let's just see how it will happen. It's really simple. Minus 30 divide by 200, so that's equal to minus 0.50. Is it clear? Simple. That's the loss per unit. Okay, fine, that's the loss per unit. So this is how you will do it. It's really simple, it's not difficult, easily you can do that. And then the last, how did we get this 0.66? The same way, profit per batch is 815, isn't it? So 815 divide by the total production, 1230, so that's equal to 0.66. Is it clear? Simple and straightforward. So till here we have completed our two requirements. The first one was calculating the total cost and the profit of each batches. That's over. The second one was calculating the per unit figures of total cost and profit. Yeah, these two, that's also finished. The third requirement was what? The third requirement was overall position of the order for 1200 pieces, isn't it? It's 1200 pieces, 200 into 6. So we have to calculate what will be the position of that. What do you mean by position? We have to calculate the profit, okay, the cost, profit, everything. Is it clear? Simple. We can easily do that, right? How can we do that? See here, overall position of the order for 1200 units. You will first take the sales value. How will you take the sales value? The same thing, 8 rupees only now per piece price, the selling price. So 1200 into 8, that's equal to 9600. See here, 1200 into 8, that's equal to 9600. okay, and then the total cost, how will you calculate the total cost? It's really simple. See here, 1200 units, and you will take this thing, yeah, this is the average cost. Okay, so this average cost you will take, let me just write that over here. Okay, 7.34 is the average cost. So 1200, it's average cost, isn't it? Total cost per unit we calculated now in the summation. Yeah, we took this 9025 rupees and divided it by 1230. We got the 7.34. yeah, this is the average cost. So this average cost we will use over here. Okay, that's why we made this total column. Okay, this is how it's useful to us. So 1200 into 7.34, that's equal to 8808 rupees. Fine. And when you subtract these two, you will get the profit, isn't it? 9600 minus 8808, that's equal to 792 rupees is the profit. So this is the overall position of the entire order. Okay, the budgeted units, 1200 units, whatever the order was. Okay, but the actual production is more than that, 1230. That's fine. Okay, so this is how you have to do it. It's really simple and straightforward. It was not difficult. It's just that little bit calculation is there and multiple batches. Okay, so you have to be careful with the figures. That's all. And this thing you understood now. Whenever we calculate all these absorption rates, what do? These absorption rates should be applied on batches depending upon how many hours have been worked for that particular batch. Yeah, example, in the month of January, what did we do? 240 hours were there, isn't it? 240 hours. So 240 hours into that particular absorption rate only. You can't take this 2.6 or 2.3. No, it's a really simple thing. You will use the same thing, 2.5 only, okay, of that particular month. Clear? So that was 600. So that 600, we took it over here. Okay, is it clear? Simple and straightforward. If you have any doubts regarding this, please ask me in the comments down below, or just take a screenshot and ask me specifically through Instagram, right? I'll try to answer and reply back to you as soon as possible. Fine, so that's all for this video. I hope you have understood this. Okay, that's all. See you in the next video. Bye.